Hello, this is integration of Unit 2 of Professional Practice 2 by Locurcio Candela. Okay, let's start with the first item, that is a good teacher. A good teacher should be respectful and emphatic because this way we're making the kid feel safe enough to ask questions, to speak freely, to participate without fear within the lesson. A good teacher is also flexible because most of the times things don't go as we planned and we have to solve the situation somehow. This flexibility is also needed in order to recognize and select or choose the kind of activities that work with each group of kids. A good teacher should be also authentic because a teacher is not a character that we have to play. We're still the same human being. And then a good teacher should be supportive because, as I said before, if the child feels safe, if the child feels considered, and we let them know that we care about their learning, they would care about it even more. So, following this concept of safety, we can establish now that building a good learning atmosphere needs as a base respect, because it is what allows us to create bonds with our students, to have good relationships, and we need that in order to motivate them, to show them that they are capable of succeeding. That's why it's also important to give opportunities or to leave enough spaces for children to experiment on their own, to make mistakes, to be wrong. Our goal is that they can say, okay, I'm making a mistake today, I'm doing this, so that tomorrow I will be better. Well, as we're working with young learners, it's important to take into account some of their instincts and needs. So here we have a little scheme that shows us some examples of the main characteristics of a kid. We all know that children love talking and playing and having fun, and we also know that they have a huge capacity of imagination, of creativity, and the ability to grasp meaning even though they don't know every single word that we're saying. All these features contribute to what we call indirect learning. That is to say, that children have a very particular way of understanding and acquiring knowledge. That means that we should look for a way that covers that instincts and needs. Here we have two different approaches. The first one is activity-based learning that consists on practical tasks. These are related to children experience and fits into their world. For example, if we want to teach body parts, we can say, okay, let's create our own monster, and I promise children will love to tell you about it later. They will talk about every single leg, arm, eye, and every single part they choose to make their monster. Then we have content-based teaching that consists on using the language as a medium to get to know something else. That is to say, we have a purpose to use that language to learn it. For example, I can say, okay, let's learn about the planets in English. So here we have the concept of tenor, that is teaching English for no obvious reason. We have a specific purpose here to teach or learn the language. In the next slide, we have three central concepts for our teaching approach. First, we have context that, as we said before, it what allows the learning to fit into the children experience. This way, kids start to make a connection between what they already know with the new information that they are getting to know. Thanks to this connection that they make, the topic becomes relevant for them, and here we have meaning. They start looking for a meaning, and as they begin to understand and to find this content important or interesting, they now have a goal to achieve. They can find a real purpose for learning. To conclude, I would like to talk about teaching implications. The first item is that we should focus on teaching about the language, that is to say, its linguistic aspect, but also we should have in mind the real purpose of language, that is communication. So we should motivate the learners to use it for real, for expressing themselves, for interacting with others. Then we should also know about how children's learning process occurs. In order to distinguish and to applicate the kind of strategies or things that really contribute to it. For example, the creation of a safe learning space. Last but not least, teachers should remember that they are guiding children in this complex but beautiful journey, that our role is to facilitate learning. Thanks for watching!